Okay, so I'll start the session. So, hi everyone, welcome to the second week of Letterverse. So, in this live session, we are going to cover these all topics, and it is going to be the continuation of the week one project. Okay, so for this, the project which we have cloned from week one, we are going to do is we are going to delete the Git file because it has the data of week one. So I've deleted it, and then let's check if it has some information about the week one thing. So I'll type get remote remote version. Okay, so we don't have any directory now. So what we'll do is uh, we'll open the GitHub and we'll add this thing. So I'll type here get remote add origin and I'll paste this link. Uh, get remote add origin this whatever week two. Okay, so I have to initialize get, then I'll add this origin. So the origin has been added. To check it, you can simply type get remote v. So you can see that now we have week two added in a local repo, right? So now we are going to work on this thing. So I'll open this thing quickly. So the very first thing which we are going to do today is we are going to first refactor our code because it is looking very bad. So I'll open the main and I'll run it on my emulator. So I'll open the emulator too. Okay. So this is my emulator. Let me set up my screen so you can see it. Mm. Should I zoom the code? Or can you see the text properly, or should I increase the font by 1 or 2 pixels?
Increase a little bit.
Okay. I hope it's visible now.
Yeah, visible.
Okay.
Yes, it's visible.
So yeah. Okay. Thank you. So let it first run on the emulator. Then we are going to refactor our code. So what I'll do is for home screen I'll create a different file. So I'll create home screen dot and this thing I'll copy this whole class and paste that class in a new file which we have created now. So yeah, so our app is running on emulator now. So is my fan also. I started running so fast. So what I'll do is I'll have okay. So I've pasted this thing here. So this all are giving us an error because we need to import a package which is material.dat. So I'll import this thing. Okay. So as you can see that when I import this, the error goes off, but still we have some errors. We also need to import the constants which we have created in constant.dat. So we have now imported all the required files. Now this in our the main file it shows that we cannot find the home screen. Okay, so what you need to do if you're using Android Studio, just press Alt and Enter, and if you're using VS Code, just press Control and space to import the file. So as you can see that this file has been imported in our main.dat. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to create a folder and we are going to name it components. Okay, and this component let's divide it like we are what we can do is we can first have a search bar. So I'll create a file called searchbar.dat, and in this file I'll take the search bar which is this one. Okay, so I'll cut it from here, and in search bar I'll I'll first import the material package because it's always important and it is mandatory to use it. And I'll create a stateless widget which says search bar container. Okay, you can remove this thing because it is not required. And I'll paste the thing which we have copied from there. So I'll paste it. Okay. So now instead of this all lengthy code, I could just simply give it. Okay, let's first refresh this thing and see what if we can see the search bar now. So I'll restart the application first. Okay, so you can see that the search bar has gone from a home screen. So what I'll do here is I'll give the class name. Okay, and then I'll import it using control space or alt enter if you're using Android Studio. And when you hot reload it, you can see now that we have a search bar. So instead of this lengthy code, I have replaced it with a class. So if any time if you have to change something in the particular component or particular container, you can simply go to the search bar dot dart and you can change whatever you want here itself. Right. Now let's remove this hot deals. So again we are going to create a file in a component which is no what we'll call it hot deals container. Okay, dot dart. So again I'm going to import material route. Sorry, material route, and then I'll create a stateless widget because stateful widget is not needed yet because we don't want anything to change dynamically, or we don't want um, data to we don't want the UI to be changed here in real time. Okay, so for this you can simply use a stateless widget. To use stateless widgets, you can just type stl. It is a shortcut for it, and give the name to the class. So for this I'm going to give it a hot deals container. Okay, and we again don't need this. Now from home screen, what I could do is I could remove this container, the hot deals one. So uh, 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 okay, so this popular category. Okay, so when you click here, it should yeah. So it has given me the mark. It has marked that the line end at this point. So what I'll do is I'll cut it, and then instead of this, I'll replace it with the component which we have created and import all the necessary files which are required for a container. So I've imported it. Now what I'll do, I'll copy this class. Okay, first let's see what if I refresh it, you can see that hotdeals has gone now. But when I type the class name and when I import it and when I hot reload it, you can see that the hotdeals again comes back. Okay, so one thing which I noticed here is that the scroll is not smooth and I don't really like it. So what I could do here is in the list view builder, I could give it a physics. So just type physics, and in physics type bouncing scroll physics. Okay, and when you save it, now see the effect which it has in the list view. So when I move from left to right, it gives us the bouncing effect into our list view. Okay, this is much smoother in terms of UI and UX. Okay, so we have created hot days. Now let's create popular categories. So I create a file name popular categories dot. Okay, so again I have to do the same thing. I have to import a package material. Then I'll create a stateless widget and give it name popular category. And in this popular category, we want this whole thing to be there, which is let's just a second. I guess I have to wrap this thing all in a column. So I'll create a column, and in column we are again going to have children's, and in children we have to give the popular category and this list view dot builder, which is this one. Okay, so I'll select list view dot builder. It ends here. I'll copy this whole thing. List view dot builder. Okay, let's copy the size box too. I'll copy this size box, and we also want this. What do we say? Popular categories. So I'll remove it from here and I'll paste it here. And again, I'll get all the required things. And when I refresh it, and when I again refresh it, you can see that the popular categories has gone now. So I can simply again copy this class name, which is popular category, and I'll paste this thing here, and you need to import it. So I'll import it like this. And when I save it, you can see that we have popular categories back, but it is but the name is again at the center. So as you can see that I want this popular category at the starting of the screen. So it should be okay. Let me disable this Copilot, else it is going to write my code. Okay, so I want this popular categories at the starting of the screen. So I'll simply type here cross axis alignment because we want it to be horizontally. It should start from the horizontal, right? So it is cross axis alignment and cross axis alignment dot start. And when I refresh it, you can see that popular categories has been aligned to your starting point. Cool. So you can see that we have eliminated so much code and this code is looking much simpler now. Let's add physics to this list view too. So in popular categories, list view, I'll simply type physics and then bouncing scroll physics. Okay, and when I save it, you can see that it's working now. Okay, so we have now refactored our code in the similar way you can refactor your UIs also, which we have got on the GitHub. Now I close all the unnecessary files which are not required now. So the next thing which we are going to see is we have refactored our code. Now let's talk about gesture detector. Okay. So for example, when I click on this container, this widget, okay. So this widget is in hot disk. Okay. So I'll simply open components and I click on hot disk. So you can see that it is much simpler for me to find a specific container in our whole widget trees. So I'll go to the container, and in this container I want that when I tab on this particular container, only then you have to do a specific task, or you, in our case, I'll print that a button has been clicked. Okay, so I'll wrap this thing with a widget called gesture detector. Okay, now detector gives us so much properties. For example, it gives us a function on tap, then it gives us a function on double tap, then it also gives us the function on hold. There's something called on long press. Okay, so now we have three of the, what do we say, arguments which gesture detector has. So I'll create a argument. So when I tab on it, it should print a single tab. Okay, so, and when I double tab on it, it should print double tap, double tap. Okay, now in the similar way, when I long press to it, it should print long pressed, PRESSUD. Okay, so now we have the three functions we have given to our gesture detector. Now let's see if it's working. So this is our debug console. Okay, so when I tab on it, you can see that single tab has been printed. When I double tap on it, you can see that double tab has been printed. Now let's hold this thing. You can see that long press has been printed. Okay, so in this similar way, you can create whatever you want. So in our case, now we'll create a page which takes us to which gives us more information about this particular product. Okay, so I'll create a page called extended ur dot. Okay, I'll import material page route, then I'll create a stateless widget which says extended UI. Cool. So we have two pages basically. So as I've talked earlier, that if you have a new page, you always need to have a scaffold, because a scaffold gives the structure to your page, right? So I'll type scaffold. Now the what do you say, scaffold is going to have a abba. Okay, so I'll create a abba, and in abba it is going to have a title. So this is our abba, and the elevation, we don't want any elevation, so I'll do it 0. So the abba, uh, we want, so I'll copy this logo from here and I'll paste it in the title. Okay, so the app bar is going to have a image, but I want this image to be in center. Okay, so there is again a property. So do you want this title to be in center? I'll type true. Yes, I want this thing to be in center. So now the my what do you say, the logo of Amazon is going to be in the center of the whole app bar. Okay, now you cannot see the screen. Okay, so let's first try to go to the screen. So whenever we don't need this property anymore, because I want the user, when the user clicks for the first time, I want it for just a time, just one tab. I want him to be sent to the second screen, right? So to do this, again we have two ways. One is the normal navigation, and second one is the named navigation. We are going to talk about both of them. So first, let's see with the basic, that is the normal one. So to move from one screen to another, you simply type navigation dot navigator dot push. It is going to take context, and then you type material page route. Okay, so material page route is again going to take a builder, and we are again going to pass a context, and then you type the screen where you want to go, like the class name where you want to, where you want the page to be taken on. So I'll simply give the class name, and the class name is going to be extended UI. So I type here extended UI. Okay. Now, okay. So here's a trick to what do you say, to make your code look better, and for to increase your better readability, you can write comma 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 wherever you see a bracket, and when you refresh the page, you can see that it has been properly aligned, right? So now we have created an extended UI, and we also have a navigator which takes us to the second page, right? So when I click on it, you can see that we it has taken us to the new page. Okay. Now we don't want the color to be blue, so I'll simply change the background color. Colors dot white. Okay. And now the scaffold is going to have a body, so I simply type body, and body is going to be again a container for now. And let's give a scaffold background color. It is going to be colors dot white. Okay. Now, as I've talked, that there are two ways of using navigation. One is hello, am I audible?
Yes, you are audible, Aniket.
Okay, just a second. Was I disconnected?
Yeah, there were no sound from your side for
Uh,
some seconds, 5 to 10 seconds,
from
maybe.
when? From when?
5 to 10 seconds.
Okay. So sorry for that. So I've said that there are two ways of using navigation. One is the normal one which we are using, which is navigator dot push, and then the another way is named navigation, right? So in named navigation, what you need to do is you need to come to the material app, and in material app it has a property which is routes, and this is a object. Okay, so for let's we'll give it a slash sign, and then it is going to take a context, and the home the this says this slash sign in web, basically we are, if we are talking about web, it tells you that this is a home route. So for us the home route is going to be the home screen, and then we also have the extended UI. So I'll simply type slash and then extended. Okay, and again I'll write context and then con- context, and then I'll give it arrow function, and then we are going to give the class name, which is extended UI. Okay, so in this way we have created the named route. So you basically have to initialize your routes here. So slash extended is going to take us to our to this new route. Okay, so when I go back, and instead of using the normal navigation, now I'm going to use the name navigation. So I'll comment this thing out, and I'll use uh, navigator dot push name. In this case it is going to take argument which is name, so it is going to be slash extended. Okay, now when I save it, okay, so I have to import this thing. No. Okay. Let's rebuild our application. What's the error? Home is equal to none. Okay. Okay, so when you define the home route, you don't have to rewrite the home page, right? So now we have talked about name navigation, right? We have written navigator dot push name, and we have given the name of the page where we want to go. So when I click on it, you can see that it still works, right? So now what we want is, when I click on this particular container, it should give us the information about this particular product, right? So how will this page know that I've clicked on this product, and it will give the information about that product only? Okay, so in this case what you can do is, uh, there is something called, in the extended UI, you can what we can do here is, from this list view we can give this page the index. So this product is of index 0 in our constant dot, let me show that, in a constant dot dart. This is at the first position in our list, right? So when I click on it, I've got the position of this product. So I can simply give I can call this uh, product list, and in this product list I can give the index value for me. Then it is going to return me the information of this particular product. Okay, so as you can see that when we go to the list view builder, that index is of type int, right? So what we can do here is, we can type int index. Okay, int index, and and let's create a constructor. Don't worry about constructor if you don't get it. I've talked about this in week 3. So you can just simply apply this thing to pass on the things from screen 1 to the screen 2. Okay, so this is the way in which we create a constructor. Okay, so now what I can do is, let's first see how you could pass the arguments using the normal route. which is navigator.push. So in this case, you can see that we have a class extended UI. In this extended UI, you can type index, and in index we want this index uh, to be passed on. So I'll simply type index. Okay. So when I save it, I've saved this thing. Now, when let's try to let's give it a child center and text. Text is going to be the index. It says uh, okay, to string. Okay, so now we have the text here, which is null for now. When I go back, let's give this text a center digit. Okay, so when I click on this, which is at 0th position, so it should print 0 in that screen, right? So when I click here, you can see that 0 is there in a UI. When I do the same thing when I click on this, you can see that one is it is 0 has been changed to 1, and when I click on the last element, you can see that 1 has been changed to 4. It means that we are able to pass on our values in the second screen, right? Now let's build the now let's see how you could do the same thing using named navigator. Okay, so to pass on the thing to the from using name navigator to a second screen, what you can do here is it takes a argument. Again, takes a argument, which is arguments, and this argument is a object. Now in this object, I could simply type index, and the value which it is going to take is going to be index. Okay, when I'll save it. Now how will I get the value which we have passed in navigator.push.name, because it is not going to be coming from this thing. This is only available when you use navigator.push. Okay, so in this case what we can do here is you just have to create a variable. So I'm going to create a variable which is final arguments equal to, there's something called model route dot of, then you have to pass the context, then dot settings, yeah, dot settings, and then dot settings dot argument. So the value which is coming is a object. Okay, so in Flutter you in Dart you call this thing map. So I'll call this, the value which is coming to us is a map, and it is a map of string and int. Okay, so the value which is coming to us is a map of string. So this is a string and this is index. So if you don't know that the value which is coming is going to be int, string, or some other data type, so you can simply give it a variable called dynamic. So in this case it is going to take any value. So now arguments, so what I'll do here is I'll type arguments, and in bracket I'll type index, and when I save it, I'll what's the error? Okay, so when I save it and when I again click on it, uh type int is not typed. Okay, so the text always takes a string, but the value which you're getting is int. So what we can do is we can convert it to int. Now when I click on it, you can see that the value which we have is 0. When I click on the first index, it is showing us 1, and when we have clicked on the last element, it is showing 4. So in this way you are passing on the values from screen 1 to screen 2, and I've showed you that you can use either navigator.push and navigator.pushname. So basically if you're using navigator.pushname, your code will increase by one line in the second screen, and if you're using navigator.push, you can simply use material page route, and in this you can create a constructor here like we have created in the code which I have commented, this one, and you can give the value to the constructor, right? So now we have a value. Okay, so how will I show the image in image here? Okay, so what I'll do, I have a container, so I'll recreate this whole thing. I'm going to have a height of the whole screen. So I'll use media query dot of context dot size dot height. This is going to give me the height of whole screen. Then we are going to have width, and for width it is going to again give the width. To see if the container is using it, I'll just type colors dot red and save it. So okay, so now you can see that it is taking the whole screen. The container is taking the whole screen, and as a child, I'm going to give it a column, because whatever thing which we are going to have is going to be a what is going to be vertically placed. So in children, what we want to show our image first. So I'll type container of container, then container, I'll have a child, and child is going to have image. So we have the image in our asset, so locally, which is the image is in this assets folder. So I'll use the image dot asset, and I just need to give it the what the path of this. So so when you see our constant constants dot dart, so this is the image path in the product list. So I'll type product list. The index is the value which I'm getting from the argument. So I'll type here argument, and I'll give an index, and then I'll type image path. Quick fix admin check. Uh, okay. Product list. In product list, we want our first variable. So mm, 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 mm. Okay, so let's not waste the time. I'll for that I'll see this. I'll see what's wrong with the code here. I'll use this navigator dot push. I have a constructor now, and in the constructor I pass the index. So I'll type here product product list, the index, and then I want product image. What's wrong? Okay. So the issue was about for the null check. So the value which we are getting is null, because we have to go to a screen one, and then again we have to pass the value. Now you can see that we have the image. Now let's give image height and width. So the height which we are going to have is going to be 200, and width is again going to be 200. Now in this case, now you can again use named navigator, name navigator. So it won't there won't be any issue now. So we have our image. Then after image, I want the name of the product. So I simply type size box of height 20, and after 20 I want a text which says which tells us the product name. So I type here product list, and in product list I want the index, and in index I want the name. So I type name, and again okay, so we do this exclamation mark because the value which we are because dart is saying that the value which you will get is going is can it can be null. Okay, so I'm telling that it's okay if the value is null. So when I refresh it, you can see that nothing when the product names get printed out here. So let's add some style to it, text style, and let's increase the font. So I'll type here font size to 22, and I'll give it a weight, font weight, font weight dot bold. Okay, so now we have the name of the product, and let's see what's there. We'll also give the delivery time and price. Price is important. I'll copy this thing again, and now we are going to have price. Let's save it. We don't want this to be bolder. 20. I'll remove this thing. Okay, and I also want some space between that, maybe of height 5. Height 5. When I refresh it, we have height between them. And now let's also print the delivery time. Today's let's decrease the size to 15. Okay, and then we'll have the product description. So for this, what I'm going to do is I'll create another widget of, let's give sized box of height 20. Then we'll have a container of height 100, and let's give it a colors dot gray. When I save it, you can see that color. Let's increase the height to 200 maybe. Okay, and then dot gray dot shade 100, shade 300. Yeah, and then it is going to have a child is going to be of type text because we want to add description here. So I'll type, and I'll give some text to it in just a second. Okay. Okay, so we have too many texts now. Let's remove some. Okay, now let's give it a color colors colors dot gray dot shade 300 gray, and then we'll have this thing in the center. So I'll wrap this thing in the center widget, and we also want some padding and margin. So padding is inside the container and margin is outside the container, right? So the padding edge insets dot all 10. Okay, and margin, I'll copy the same thing, and instead of padding I'll change it to margin. Okay, and let's do change this to 20. Okay, and we also want decoration to this container, so I'll simply write decoration bot decoration, and in box decoration the border radius, so I want the border radius to be circular, and let's give it 20 and see. It is giving us error because we have color in this container. Instead of that, what I'll do is I'll cut this thing, and I'll just a second, and I'll give this color property in our box decoration, because when you have decoration property and you give the color to the container, it is going to give you an error. So you just click on it, and you can see that we have a container which gives us the with the border is of radius 20, and it also gives us the description about the product. Now let's have a button, and the button should say buy now, and let's keep the button as a bottom in the bottom of the screen. So what I'll do here, I'll in the scaffold I have a property which is known as bottom navigation bar. So I'm going to give it a container. So the container, let's give this container a height which is going to be 100 maybe. Let's see. Let's check if it's it is something which we wanted. Color star red. When I save it, you can see that okay. Let's decrease it to maybe 80 and let's see if yeah. So this is what I wanted. Now uh, the container is going to have a child now, and the child will have a center text. So I'll write center, and then center is again going to have a child because because we want a text to be in center. So the parent of the text is going to be center, and the parent of center is going to be a container because the center is under the container. Okay, so I'll type text, and this I'll give it by now style text style color is going to be colors dot white, and then we are also going to give it a font size to 22. Okay, so color is black because color is, the background is also white and the text color is also white. That's the reason you cannot see this text. So what I'll do is I'll give the color property. So the color property is going to be uh, of this color, which is orange. So in home screen, we have bottom navigation bar, and this we have this color. Let's copy this thing. Okay, so whenever you want to use your custom color, you type color and then give the code to it. And when I refresh it, you can see that we have this button. Now I also want this button to not take the size of whole width of this mobile phone. So what I'll do here, I'll give it a margin, then edge inserts dot all maybe 30. When I refresh it, you can see that it is overflowing. So what I'll do here is I'll change it to 50. Now let's style the button. Font weight dot bold. Okay, and again let's add the circular property to your container. So I'll type decoration and box decoration. This box decoration is again going to take a radius. So border radius, and then border radius dot circular 20. Okay, again the error because we have again added the color in the container and not in the box decoration. um, Cut it from here, then I'll give this color property to inside the box decoration. When I refresh it, you can see that now we have a buy now button. So now let's see if it's working for a different product. So when I click on this, you can see that we have echo dot, and the information is dynamic now. So it is coming whenever you click on this specific product, the value you are getting in the extended screen is also about that product itself. So we are having the information about the product. So we have seen, we have covered, we have refactored the code, we have seen about gesture detector, and then we have also created the extended UI and navigation. So I've used both the navigation, name navigation, and push navigation. Now let's see. There was error that we were not able to use pass the variable. So the error would be gone now because let's use this name navigator, and then let's comment this constructor. We have argument. So in argument you want index. So what I could do here is I'll type args argument argument can the index, and when I refresh it again, I have to do this for every so of index. Let's copy this thing. Yeah, I'll I'll restart the application. Okay, so when you click on it, oh, what's the error? Int has no instance. Okay, index. Okay, so I don't know what's the error. I'll see this error and I'll post it on Discord if you want to use name navigation. But till time you can just use name dot push for passing on the information from one screen to another. So if you have any doubt, you can leave that in the message. We'll solve it right now. If you are clear with your concepts, you can also tell that everything is clear to you. Okay, so let's see the final thing, how you could push this to week 2. So this is our week 2 repo. What you need to do is again fork this thing uh, to your own account. When you fork this thing, uh, I'll copy this, and then I'll in the terminal you just type get let's get init get remote add origin add origin and press enter. Okay, so it's already there in my local machines. Then I'll do get add, then I'll push get commit with a message which is my name and it's same, and then I'll push to GitHub get push to origin name. Uh, 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 okay, so what I have to delete get remove origin. Okay, remove add origin get push to origin. Okay. Uh, 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 uh. Okay, so in this way, I have two branches. So this is giving us an error, giving this error to me, but it won't happen for you. So in this way, you can push your code to our week 2 repo, which we have shown here, week 2 repo, and the code should come till Monday 11:59. So it then only you will be eligible to get your swags. So yeah, so if everything is clear, we can close this session, and we'll see you in the next one. We have to make changes in the Amazon app. No, you can make your the app which you have created in previous week. You can you can add this all code. Like you can use gesture detect navigation, and you can refactor your code. Okay. Okay, then we'll see you in the next session. Thanks for joining.